Hey guys, how's it going? If you are watching this, you could be watching it live or you could be watching the replay. So I'm happy here. We are in video number 2 of The Compound Effect, the book by Darren Hardy that I am reviewing and giving you takeaways and working through it together and hopefully holding you accountable. If you're in my Facebook group, Conquer Lifestyle right now, then you should be posting in this group during the 2 weeks on your key takeaways. We are now in chapter 3. We've done chapter 1, chapter 2. I'm listening on the audio, so if it seems a little bit disorganized, it's because I don't have a book in front of me, which is totally fine. I'm just taking notes as I go along, and I'm talking about some of the things that are going on in the chapters. Hey Marianne, how's it going? So chapter 3, I'm listening to every chapter twice, taking notes on the second time around. I like to have the audio because I can just keep popping that in my car on the way to and from. And I need to get my notebook, but that's okay. I like the audio for that reason. The only reason I don't love not having the book is because I want to see those key takeaways. So again, if you're in this group and you have a physical copy of the book, I would love for you to turn to the last page of each chapter with those action steps, take a picture of them, post them in the group so we have those as a resource. So diving into chapter 3, we're talking about habits. So we're talking about habits and then the core values assessment, which you can get all these free downloads on thecompoundeffect.com/free. And you should go and download. There's about 6 downloads. I'm actually going to talk through this one with you guys because it's really good. Summary of the chapter. The chapter is like an hour and 15 minutes long on the audio version, so it might take you a little while to get through. But I'll talk a little bit about my background with habits and also what he says in the book. So he starts off talking about a little boy trying to pull up the root of a tree. So like a little tree, he can pull it up really easily. Maybe a tree that's like as tall as me, he really, really has to go for it and like try to pull it out. He sweats and sweats. He finally pulls it out of the ground. And then imagine a big redwood tree. There's no way you're pulling it out of the ground. So he's talking about habits. And if you've had the same habits for years, 20, 30, 40 years, you can't expect yourself to change those habits overnight. It's just not going to happen. So be gentle with yourself, be kind with yourself. How many people have gone on a diet on New Year's and then they end up failing 3 months later? So what strategies can we use to follow through and create consistency, which is what the whole book about the compound effect is about, is consistency. And from my nutrition coaching, it's all about rule breaker lifestyle, right? So I just ate a bag of pretzels and I don't care because I ate it over about a course of 3 days. But here's what I did. I decided I'm working on these new habits this week. I decided, you know what, I really need to get another shake in throughout the day because when I have 2 shakes a day, not only is my energy better, I know I'm getting all the nutrition that I need, I feel better, I sleep better, my digestion's better, but also it prevents me from eating a little bit too much at night. So I decided when I came home from work, I did a couple things. There's 3 habits that I was looking at changing because I've been tracking my time and I'm noticing when you get home from work, you kind of feel tired. And a lot of times you plop yourself down in front of the couch, you turn on the TV, you start eating snacks. That's really not in line with anybody's goals, I don't think. I don't think that's going to get you closer to anything if you're just wasting time, hours and hours on the couch, not really getting anything done. And it's not adding value to your life. So came home, took a shot of my adaptogen drink because that gives me a little bit of energy boost, also calms the nerves a little bit. So you know when you're all kind of like frantic after work. Decided, first of all, I just finished season 3 of How to Get Away with Murder. So that's an update. It's done. I'm finished. No more. I binge watched the end of it. So we're good there. Canceling Netflix, gone. So I don't have that as a temptation. I did get to watch Tony Robbins. So that was a good thing about Netflix. If there's any documentaries on Netflix, I might keep it around. But you have to assess yourself, right? Like if you know that you're not going to be able to control yourself and you're going to watch stuff that's not super enriching and educational, then maybe get rid of it. I'll probably be getting rid of it for a while because I'm on this I'm on a mission here. I'm on a mission to keep improving every month, keep doing something different. So the number one habit I did, instead of sitting down for the TV, I took a shot of my adaptogen drink. I showered because I had worked out, so I showered. I changed into these clothes that I'm wearing right now, just kind of like bumming around clothes. And I took my dog on a walk. It was still light out, so we went to the trail, we did a walk, went and sat down by the creek, looked at some little frogs, sat there for maybe about 20 or 30 minutes. It was just like, wow, I feel so much more peaceful doing this than sitting and watching murders on TV for 3 hours, right? So I hadn't realized it too much, but if you watch a lot of TV or a lot of the same show, you're like thinking about the show all the time. And like I actually was finding myself thinking about it because I've been binge watching this show. So how much better to just be out in nature, calm, relaxed, peaceful, spending time with my dog, which totally anchors me in the moment of like, my dog is so awesome. She's great. She's funny. We were walking around in the water looking at frogs. It was awesome. Hey, Christina. Hey, Carrie. So that's the two habits I changed. One is like not sitting on the couch. And then the second one, you want to set yourself up with a habit of like, what is your trigger, right? So he's talking about like what makes you go into eating the whole bag of chips, or what makes you want to sit on the couch for 3 hours. And usually it's like, after work, I just need to decompress, and like I'm annoyed and I just want to like not think about anything. So it's just like a really easy mind numbing experience that I can do for a few hours. But I realized I have like 3 hours where I could be getting stuff done. So think about if you had 3 hours of time, and this goes for anything, like maybe it's surfing the web, doing random stuff on the internet. Maybe it's scrolling on Instagram. Maybe it's watching TV, but what would you rather do with 3 hours of your time? So when I start to think about that, I'm like, holy cow, I have blogs to write, I have emails to write, I have to be in this Facebook group. So what would I rather be doing? And make it not just work stuff, but like super impactful, good stuff, fun stuff. So for me, we're going to go back to budget in a second because I want to talk about budget because I've been doing a cash flow plan every month and created a great habit with that. But where did I just go off track to? Remind me what I was talking about if you guys are watching right now. Because I got off track with the cash flow plan. Something super enriching. So what I wanted to start doing is just going on Groupon, and probably once a month, maybe twice a month, if I can fit it in my cash flow plan, is doing something fun and random, like horseback riding, going to the archery range, going to the shooting range, just doing stuff that's like super enriching, and maybe it's only 20 or 30 bucks. I have that built into my budget. I have that built into my plan. That's super enriching. I can go and spend an hour doing that and get that feeling of relaxation and release and like me time without sitting on the couch for 6 hours watching Netflix, or whatever it is that you guys find yourself doing. So think of some things that you might be wasting time on. Think of some habits, some triggers that are creating that habit. So if that trigger is when I get home from work, I'm just stressed and I have to drink a glass of wine, you don't have to drink a glass of wine. Probably what you're used to, though, is getting that wine glass. So why not try something different where you get the wine glass, you get some super healthy drink. I like, we have a product that's called Replenish. So it's actually an electrolyte drink. Mix it all up, nice, tutti frutti, put some oranges in there, sip it like it's sangria. You're still getting that same feeling of drinking wine, but you're changing and flipping it over to something that's actually good for you. Yes, Marianne says, make your 3 hours impactful. Absolutely. Because what's the biggest complaint of everybody? We don't have enough time. We don't have enough energy. So a lot of it is managing your time and managing your energy. And I'm finding I watch TV and I fall asleep on the couch. And then I fall asleep on the couch random. It messes me all up. I wake up at like 2 a.m. and I'm like, where am I? And then I don't end up getting good sleep. So then it's a struggle for me getting up in the morning the next day. So those 3 hours of what I think I'm doing, which is relaxation, is actually not helping me. So just reflecting and not being a child. And that's what he says is like, children, right, want that immediate gratification of, I want to feel really good right now. And me feeling good right now is me drinking this wine and watching this trashy movie or this gossip show or whatever. But what's actually going to benefit you long term, the wine over and over again is going to add up. Not saying cut it out completely, but look at it. and just see how it's impacting your life. Okay, moving forward, the next thing, I want to go back to cash flow planning. So I've talked about this before, but I'm just going to keep talking about it because if there's anybody out there that's resistant, I feel like health, like weight loss, health, nutrition, exercise, and finances are one of the two that people like really, they do New Year's resolutions on, they really want to get after it, but they may not know how. So I've felt like I have a couple programs if you want nutrition or if you want fitness. So reach out to me. I do those a couple times a year. But I want to just highlight this, and I'm going to keep talking about it because it's phenomenal. If there's anybody out there that's reluctant to do a budget, I want you just to explore this and do this. It's called Financial Peace University. It costs about $129 to enroll. It can even go down to like $89 depending on how early you enroll. Also, if you end up doing this and you're like, I don't know, I don't have the money right now, reach out to me. Because as a part of my Financial Peace University, I actually am donating a couple of memberships to this. So if I can fit you in my monthly plan and you want to do this, I want to help you out and I want to sponsor you to start this. So if you're thinking of it and you have questions, let me know, reach out to me. Financial Peace University, I have my budget in here. And I call it allocated spending plan. So it's not a budget because a budget insinuates that you can't spend money and you shouldn't spend money. This is every dollar has a job and it has a place to go. So allocated spending plan, I do it bi-weekly, and I get paid a couple different ways, but I get paid on the 7th, and today is the 4th. And I was so excited, like getting ready for payday. I'm like, I want to do my budget now. Like, what a nerd. I can't even believe I'm saying this because I was so hesitant when I first went into this class. And now I'm like nerding out with a pencil and a little calculator, like, oh, here it is. And oh my gosh, look how much money I have left over. And that money's going to go here. And that's going to pay down this. So getting control of your habits, whether it's finances, whether it's nutrition, whether it's exercise, makes you feel phenomenal. And that's where you start gaining that momentum, which we actually will talk about in the next chapter, the Big Mo. But right now, you should be tracking what you're doing. Mine that I'm tracking right now is time. A lot of people might be tracking their food intake, their steps. Maybe you do a pedometer if you want to see how much exercise. Maybe you have a Fitbit. Maybe you have an Apple Watch. It could be relationships, right? Like you can track how much time I'm spending with my family, with my significant other, with my friends, or reaching out to friends. So start tracking where your time goes and then look at your time blocks throughout the day and find out where I'm putting my time and my efforts and my energy. Is that actually what I say my priority is? So a lot of people will say my priority is my family, then they don't make time for their family. They end up working overtime. Hey, Ginger. Ginger says, I don't like making a budget, but I'm sure I need to. Ginger, I feel you. I am totally like, I was angry when I went to take this class. I'm not going to lie. I was like so reluctant. They group you out into two types of people and you take this little quiz, and I was a free spirit, and a free spirit like doesn't want rules. I just want to do what I want, just like go off of how I feel. And then the other people were like nerds, where they wanted to like budget everything and write it down. I was not. I was 100% free spirit. Everybody else in my class was at least partially nerd. So I feel you, but reframe it. Reframe it. I don't want a budget. I don't want anybody. To me, a budget sounds like somebody's telling me what to do, and I have to eat ramen noodles. And I'm not okay with that. That's not my lifestyle. I do not want to eat ramen noodles. I want to get the good food. I want to get the organic chicken. But here's what's so cool about making a spending plan. You decide what's important to you. So for me, healthy food is important. For me, having an internet connection is important. What's not important to me, cable doesn't matter to me. Buying Starbucks coffee doesn't matter to me. Going out to eat doesn't matter to me. So I choose what I get to spend money on. I end up spending money on, maybe I'll get a pedicure or a massage. So there's still fun money built in. So you're not just like scrounging and just like wearing rags and eating ramen noodles. So Ginger, I hope that helps. Just know that when you start to get in control and disciplined with your goals, whether it be finances or fitness or waking up early or whatever, spending time with the people you love, discipline equals freedom. My boy Jocko says it all the time. Discipline equals freedom. And In the immediate, it's not going to feel super comfortable. It might just feel like icky and you're like, oh, this is so annoying. But in the long term, you are going to be so much better off. So let's transition into core values assessment. This is what we're working on this week, in addition to the gratitude and one more. Refer to video 1. There was gratitude and then there was another one. Let me look it up for you, because you're going to be like, which one was it? Gratitude, which is phenomenal. And then the other one we should talk about is the E versus E, the entertainment versus education. So I kind of assessed myself on that and find out I was watching a lot of murders. And Marianne says, rags and ramen noodles. No, I know, right? Like, I felt like I was like that in college. I did not want to go back there. But now that I'm on this spending plan, I get excited because I have money left over at the end. And then I can see my ultimate goals, paying down the student loans, paying the car off, just being completely free from debt. That is my bigger why. And that's when I really dive deep into it. And so that's what we need to actually dive deep into, is when you're creating these habits, what is it that you really want to do? What is it that you really want to achieve? And then when it gets a little bit uncomfortable, look at the big picture, look at the 10 years from now, not just at like, oh, how does this make me feel right now in the moment? Because right now in the moment, let's be honest, I'd be sitting on the couch eating cookie dough every night and not working out. Maybe working out, because working out actually makes me feel good. Okay, life assessment. So gratitude, life assessment, and then the one I'm going to go over now. And the life assessment, there's no right or no wrongs. All it is looking at the areas of your life, right? So a lot of times people will put a goal of, I want to get super fit, or I want to, and then they alienate everybody in their family because they're eating clean. I'm eating clean and I can't go out to eat with you and we can't hang out. So then your relationships end up suffering. I did that when I first started. So life assessment has a couple categories: relationships and family, physical, right? Like your body, business. All of you guys probably are employed or you have a business. If you're not, you're a mom. That's your business. Financial, right? Spiritual, so huge. Spiritual, meditation, being spiritual, going to church. Mental. So one of these things on mental is I read something instructional or inspirational for at least 30 minutes a day. And you can score yourself 1 to 5. Lifestyle. I'm living life to the fullest. I'm living the life how I want to live. And then you have a life wheel. This life wheel is awesome. I had a coach do this with me. Her name's Bethany Perry. If you guys want to reach out to her, if you want her, she coached me for a while. She's a relationship coach, but she did this life wheel with me. And you know what's crazy is there is a correlation between certain areas on that life wheel. Money and relationships are tied together. So if you're having problems with money, you're probably having problems with relationships, or there was a problem in the past that you need to deal with. That's what I'm working through right now. So do the life assessment, do the life wheel, take your time with it. Don't stress yourself out. I still haven't done mine yet. I'm waiting until I can sit down, spend some good time with it, and schedule it in, right? You have to schedule it in to get it done. But let's talk about core values really quickly. Gratitude. This is awesome. I had another book called The Magic. And part of the daily practice of the magic is writing out 10 things a day that you're grateful for. And I've done this on and off for probably 5 years, actually. And it's really cool. And I challenge you, let's say you're mad at somebody. You're mad at your spouse or your kids or mom, dad, grandma, whoever. Take some time and write out, force yourself to write out things that you love about them and that you're thankful for. And it's going to completely change your perception about it. Other things, like if you don't like your job, there's something you don't like, start to write down the things you're thankful for. I had several jobs I didn't like for years and years and years. And the only way I actually got through it was to be grateful for the things that I had, right? Like I had benefits, I had a good paying job. So writing those things out. Gratitude assessment: 3 amazing people in my life, 3 great things about my physical body, 3 great things about my home and where I live, 3 great things about where I work and what I do for a living, 3 great gifts of unique talent and skill that I've been given, 3 gifts of knowledge and experience. Hey, Kristen. that I have been given 3 ways I experience luck in my life, and 3 ways in which my life is wealthy, abundant, and prosperous. And I want you to think about things that you don't normally think about. I was blessed enough to meet in person somebody who has ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and it touched me. It made me realize when I get up to work out every day that I should be thankful that I have a body that moves and that I can control my muscles. So think about somebody who doesn't have what you have, who maybe doesn't have healthy lungs. I had a friend's brother, a former coworker of mine. He has cystic fibrosis in his lungs. And the doctor said it was like you and I trying to breathe through a straw. He couldn't breathe. He ended up getting a double lung replacement. He's doing amazing. He can now walk and run and jog, and he's recovered completely. But can you imagine being stuck in a bed, not being able to breathe? Only thing he wants to do is run. And then here we are complaining because running is hard. So reassess. Once you start reassessing, life becomes completely different. So that's what the gratitude is. And let's go on to core values. So this is it. And then I'll go because I've got to get to bed. I've got a bedtime. Core values assessment. So this is where I like to use my own hashtag. It's called If It Fits Your Lifestyle Goals, IIFLYG. So instead of if it fits your macros, if it fits your lifestyle goals, right? So I have people come up to me all the time related to fitness and nutrition saying like, I want to be a certain percent of body fat, or I want to be a certain weight. And I say, that's great. That's a good goal to have. But I want to talk to you about what that lifestyle looks like in order to achieve that goal. And for me personally, to get my body fat down to where it once was, it's not worth it. I can't eat pretzels. I'd have to do a bunch of cardio. I'd have to cut my calories really low. And it was miserable for me. So for me, my lifestyle goals are to be happy and balanced and reasonably fit and feeling great about my body, keeping my body strong, but not necessarily having a certain percent of body fat. Because I don't want to live that lifestyle. I don't want to eat out of Tupperware all day. I don't want to count everything that goes into my body. And man, I'm one of those people. I don't love running, but I'll do it. And I'm challenging my mindset. I'm telling a mindset shift to do a little bit more running. But in order to get myself super lean, in the past I'd had to do so much cardio. And that's just not my vibe. I don't dig it. I like weightlifting. So moving forward to core values. This has to do with the goal that you're picking, whatever it is you want to achieve, whatever habits you want to create. Think about first what you want your lifestyle to be like. And set up some core values and then filter everything you do through those values. So for example, I want to be rich and I want to be such and such a title at work. I want to be CEO of this place. Okay, you want to be CEO, so think about why. I want to be CEO because I'll make a lot of money, I'll be respected, I'll be in power, I'll make a difference. So maybe those are 3 or 4 things. Maybe you don't actually need to be CEO to get those 4 things. Because guess what also comes with CEO? I work 80 hours a week. I never see my family. My health is suffering. I can't work out. I end up getting sick. I eat fast food because I travel all the time. Whatever it is, check yourself. Go in and look at what you want and find out if that lifestyle is actually really what you want. Being an entrepreneur, having an online business, it seems pretty cool, but it takes a tremendous amount of discipline to get on here, do your emails, do your blogs. So yeah, you want to be an entrepreneur so you can work from the beach in Fiji. Of course, who doesn't? But how much work does it take to get there to work from the beach in Fiji? So going back to core values, I'm going to read these off to you. Download this, work on it. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Part of the thing with all the perfectionists in this group, recovering perfectionists like myself, is you don't do something because you think it's supposed to be perfect. So I don't want you guys to look at this and be like, oh, I have to have the perfect answer. Go through it. I like to meditate before I do something like this because then my mind is clear and it's blank and I can kind of flow, versus if I'm in a hyper aggravated state or I'm not relaxed, it's not gonna flow as well. So I'll share a meditation with you guys that I've used before, so you can do it right before this. So who is the person I respect most in life? What are their core values? Probably somebody you grew up with, maybe somebody you met in college, maybe somebody who's in your life now. Who is my best friend and what are his or her top 3 qualities? This one I love because my best friend is like the sweetest thing ever. And I'm like, how are you even my friend? But I love the qualities in her because it highlights those qualities in me, right? So they might be opposite of you, but you respect them and you love them because of the qualities that they have. If I could have more of any one quality instantly, what would it be? Or what mine would be? Maybe patience. Yeah, maybe patience. Or like kindness, or like something of that regard. Patience or kindness, instantly. What 3 things do I hate? They give it examples: cruelty to animals, credit card companies, deforestation, etc. I hate laziness. I hate it in myself. I hate it in other people. That's one thing I just hate. And excuses. So those are 2 of mine. And sometimes the things we hate, we can see them in ourselves too, right? Like we're like, I'm being lazy or I'm making excuses right now. Which 3 people in the world do I dislike the most and why? And this one's hard for me because I don't reserve a lot of like for hating people, but I can think of a few people that are just unkind, right? So unkind people. Which personality trait, attribute, or quality do people compliment me on the most? Personality trait. Being on live video. They like that about me. Maybe being loud or motivating. Oh, Marianne says you are a kind girl. Thank you, Marianne. This is probably the hardest one for most people to do in going through your own personality traits and what you can actually own, because it's hard for us to take compliments. So again, this feels awkward for me to be like, well, what do people like about me? Because we're always really hard on ourselves, right? So take time on this one, because this one's going to be probably the hardest, most challenging one. I think I'm the first to do things. I think I'm the one to step up and always do it before anybody else. I'm kind of fearless in that way. So I think people recognize that. I pull it off. I kind of like fake it till you make it. I gave a presentation today that was like the most awkward presentation ever. And the girl afterwards was like, you didn't seem awkward. I was like, yeah, it felt super awkward the whole time. But I just like smiled and kept going. So I think that confidence is probably what people compliment me on. What are 3 most important values I want to pass on to my children? Ooh, I don't have kids yet, but this is good. I think extreme ownership, like taking responsibility. I want to teach them about finances. I want to raise them up in Financial Peace University, so that they learn how to earn a living at a young age. So instead of allowance, they're given wages. They're earning commissions on their chores. So each chore is worth a certain percentage. They're learning how to work from a young age, and they're learning that you don't just get stuff for free. So entitlement. Those of you with kids, you might be able to chime in here too. This is probably going to be easier for you because I don't have kids yet. If I were to teach a graduating high school class values that would give them the best opportunity for success in life, what would those be and why? The number one thing I could say is personal development, personal growth from a young age. Like my kids are going to be reading The Compound Effect when they're in high school, if not younger. So this kind of stuff, if you can get this in now, and notice it's not too late. So it doesn't matter how old you are, it's not too late to start personal growth and personal development. But if I could have this kind of stuff when I was in high school and college even, my life would have been different, right? I would have made different choices. If I had enough money to retire tomorrow, what values would I continue to hold? Honesty, always honesty in my relationships. Loving honesty, but I'm the one where people come to me and they're going to be like, tell me the truth, and I'll tell the truth always. What values do I see being valid 100 years from now? I mean, the core values, I think of biblical values, right? Like, do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. Honesty is always one, being truthful, being hardworking, doing the stuff. Like, do you ever like go into the bathroom or something and you see like toilet paper on the floor and you really don't want to pick it up, but you're like, man, I have to pick it up. Like that, like those kind of things where, or you don't want to take the cart back. You know the people that leave the carts, the shopping carts, like in the parking lot, they're just rolling around, they hit your car. I always walk the freaking cart back up. even though every time I'm like, it's so far, I don't have to walk the cart up. Those are the kind of things. Like doing the things that you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do them when nobody's around. That's always going to be valid. I like this one. Spend some time on this one too. Top dozen qualities of the ideal man or woman. Everybody in this group watching this is female. So I'm assuming you'd be listing ideal qualities in a man. So after you take time to do that, at the end you summarize. You should have some keywords in there that you're circling. Then you now have your top 10 values. So don't take forever on it. Well, take a lot of time on it, but don't try to be perfect in it, right? Like, you don't need to have a mission statement that's like super epic or super like elegant. Get those top 10 values. Anything that you're doing or putting in your life, see if it matches up with those values. It's going to create a lot more ease, and it's going to create an awareness right away of like, this is not helping. This is not moving me forward towards my goals. This is not in line with my values. So, guys, I hope this helped you. We're on chapter 3. We're done with this week. I'm still going to keep doing videos. I know a lot of you guys are catching up, so that's totally fine. Don't worry about it. If you're watching this replay, here's my call to action for you guys. If you're in this group, I want you to be posting something, some kind of key takeaway. Even if you're not watching even if you're not listening to the audio or reading the book, if you're watching the videos, write in something that resonated with you that you're going to change, that you're going to implement, that you're like, oh, wow, that was really cool. If you're watching the replay and you're not in the group right now, find somebody to be accountable with. That's the number one thing. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Hey, Melissa, I just saw you hop in. Surround yourself with like-minded people that are going to hold you accountable, that are going to tell you the truth, especially when you're being lazy or you're making excuses or any of those things that are out of line with the values that you set up. Maybe you have a spouse, maybe you have a significant other or a best friend that's going to hold you accountable. So I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm glad we're doing this together. Hopefully this is a lot of value to you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.